What's up, everybody? I'm Michael Allen, and this is the Movie Minute. This episode of the Movie Minute, we are talking about the last installment in the Mission Impossible franchise, The Final Reckoning, starring Tom Cruise, Hayley Atwell, Simon Pegg, Ving, Rhames. So, if you're looking for a non-spoiler review, let's jump on in. Just as a word of caution, if you have not seen Dead Reckoning, which is part one of this movie series, go and watch that first before you watch my review, because I will be talking about a few of the things from that film. So, we are finally here 29 years later, the final film, right, of Mission Impossible. I cannot accept that the studios are not going to do another Mission Impossible, but we know for sure, at least from what's been said, that Tom Cruise is done. This is his final Mission Impossible. And I mean, it's quite insane that the guy is doing this. I know I talked about this with Dead Reckoning, but it's like, the man is in his 60s. It's insane that he's doing these things. I question his humanity often, whether he's an android or not, or he's been replacing parts of himself with bionic things, because the guy is an absolute freak when it comes to the shape that he's in. We all want to be in his shape when we're in our 60s. So the film does pick up right where Dead Reckoning left off. Ethan Hunt has been fighting this AI called the Entity, who is bent on world destruction and wiping out the human race. The entire cast is back. Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, Hayley Atwell, Pom Klementieff. They're all back, and it is a wild ride. The gist of the movie is the Entity is slowly taking over nuclear arsenals around the world, and Ethan Hunt is on a race against the clock to not only stop the Entity, but capture it. And that is the gist with no major spoilers. So, let's jump in and talk about what I liked. First and foremost, this film is just the epitome of action movie. It is exciting, it's fun, great soundtrack, great pace, and it's just heart-pounding, blood-pumping, amazing action set pieces that have you on the edge of your seat the entire ride. Mission Impossible's ability to just wow you is always amazing, and that is so present in this film. Secondly, the ensemble cast is incredible in this film, and that's what really elevates it. Tom is amazing, but it's the characters around him that really make this film extra special. I also want to give a special shout out to Esai Morales, who plays the antagonist Gabriel in this film. He also played it in Dead Reckoning. He is so good at this, and he definitely had some Hans Gruber moments in this.
This is Hans Gruber.
His ability to just be this, like, evil, very 90s, like, villain was so good. I loved every moment with him and Tom on screen. It was awesome. And of course, there are the moments. Mission Impossible is known for its impossible moments, its ability to build these action scenes that are so impossible that they just wow you. And that scene in this movie is so good. I'm not going to talk about which one it is, but there's a specific scene in this film that just leaves you scratching your head and being like, how do they do this? How does Tom do this? Oh yeah, and the running. So I will say, the film starts out really slow, and it builds. And the build is kind of good, but it just takes too long. I mean, this movie is just shy of 3 hours. I don't think it needed to be 3 hours.
It's been 84 years.
And I will say as well, there's a kind of a fan service moment. There's several fan service moments in the film, and that's very deserved, right, for a almost 30-year franchise. But some of the fan service in the beginning just wasn't good. I don't think it fit into the overall narrative, and it just felt awkward. Wish they would have cut those moments. I will say, I don't know if I love this ending for Ethan Hunt. And I'm not going to say anything about it, but I think that when you have this franchise that has spanned so long, tying up all of that is really important. And while I won't say it was bad, I just will say I was a bit underwhelmed. And so I can't even talk about it much on this channel, but I was a little underwhelmed with where they landed. And I wonder if they're just leaving the door open a little bit. And it just didn't land right with me. So let's talk about ratings and badge. From an entertainment standpoint, this film was amazing. It's an easy 9 out of 10. I think if you take out those fan service moments, it would have been a 10 out of 10, but 9 out of 10 for entertainment. I think for the critics' rating, this film wasn't as strong as maybe the last 3 or 4 Mission Impossibles, I would say. I think that it was a little bit weaker than those, but it's still very good. I think it just was a bit underwhelming, like I said, in the story department. And the wrap up and things like that. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for critics rating, just because of those story things that kind of threw me off a little bit, and the fan service. But it's a solid 8.5 out of 10 for me for Mission Impossible. And the film overall was worthy of the franchise, I think. So from a badge standpoint, this is absolutely a popcorn bucket. It's Mission Impossible. These films are meant to see on giant screens. If you have a chance to see this in IMAX, I would see it in IMAX. Just the action sequences alone are incredible, as well just paired with amazing sound design and the amazing score. I think the score is so iconic, and it really elevates so much of this movie just because it pulls on those nostalgia strings and just gets you pumped every time that dun 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 dun. Like every time they play that, you just start like shaking your fist of like, yes, let's go. And that is something special to experience in the theater. At the end of the day, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is a worthy ending to the series, although maybe it fell short in a couple spaces. It's well worth your time and money to go check it out. And wow, Tom Cruise is done, and it's crazy. It's crazy that he's hanging up the uniform, Ethan Hunt, off into the sunset. Thank you, Tom, for 29 years of amazing action moments. If you like this video, like and subscribe. I'd love to have you on this movie journey with me. Drop down in the comments and let me know what your favorite Mission Impossible movie is. And until next time, everybody, peace out.